Namaste, Mama.
It's like many are going to be absent today again.
Amma will not be here, I guess.
அம்மா வந்து டவுட்ஃபுல்லா சொன்னா. So Meena is not going to be here.
Oh. Less than 5, na?
Me, Srilata, Madhavi, I think 3. Let us see. Purna will be here to chant. Let us chant 3 Oms and see if others will join. Namaste, Namo Namaha.
Namaste.
Looks like only 2 of you here. Srivats, I see Srivats. Let us give another couple of minutes.
Madhavi is
Madhavi is here. Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Madhavi. Okay. Let us summarize what we did last week. Let me bring up the screen. Last week we started at Sutra 33, and here we spoke about this Murdana point, how the point here on the forehead, just at the middle of the forehead, but right at the hairline, there is a point here. So if this point is weak, uh, then the immune system doesn't work very well. So anyway, let us see. The immune system is dependent on how this connectivity is. So that's why this Murdana point is very important. And that's why when we do Bastrika Pranayama, we focus our breath as if it is moving from the chest, from the hollow of the chest, all the way up the throat, and then it's coming out to the Murdana point. We do it all the time when we do Bastrika Pranayama, as we exhale especially. So he's saying by the light in Murdana point, the Murdana point is considered something which is associated with light. So when it is fully active, it is very bright, that point. Internally, when one is able to focus on that. By that point becoming very bright and fully active, Siddhi, a perfect state is attained, meaning a completely balanced state is attained, and also it is necessary for siddhis to happen because this is connected to the Atma Chakra. We spoke about that. The following sutras talk about that also. So, and because of this, that full enlightenment starts happening because this point is important because there is an Atma Chakra, Atma Nadi, which starts on the Sahasrara Chakra and goes all the way to this sternum, all over the sternum here. So that Nadi, as it brings the Atma Vidya, so it's important this point is fully active. And because of this being fully active, the jnanam, the pratibha, that's what it says, the enlightenment is enabled. To get enlightened, that path is enabled. Hridaya chitte samviti says, in the middle of the chest, in the innermost area here, in the innermost part of here. So we have Atma Chakra between the breasts somewhere here, but at the center of the body. But this one is right behind the sternum here, the Atma Chakra. So the Atma Chakra is the one, he says, that which brings the Atma Vidya. So the Atma Vidya is stored here. And unless the Murdana point and the Atma Nadi is all clear and the Murdana point is fully active, the Atma Vidya doesn't start building up. So that's the sutra on that. So then we covered one sutra, I think, of 336. We were stopped at 336. Let's see what in 336, the sutra is about how, yes. So he says the experiences appear purposeless in the context of a Sattva Purusha who is extremely open-minded. So by samyama, purpose of others and oneself, comes the knowledge of Purusha. So how do we understand this Purusha or manifest divine? You can get that knowledge only if when you are absolutely open, without any kind of previous convictions and beliefs. So if you give a name and form, and then you have seriously limited that Purusha. You have seriously limited the unmanifest divine. So when we say God, we mean only the unmanifest divine. We don't uh, call Rama, Krishna, Govinda, they are as gods. We only call the unmanifest divine as God. So to understand that unmanifest divine, one has to be absolutely open. And then when one does samyama on oneself and also on the chitta of others, for now, even if you forget about others, when you do samyama on yourself, then you begin to understand this wonderful characteristics of the unmanifest divine. That's why way back, I think in chapter 1, where we saw about the Bhakti Yoga, starting from Sutra 23 or somewhere, about 6 or 7 sutras, where he defines the characteristics of Ishvara. He says the vachaka is Om. He communicates through the sound of Om. And that Om, when you meditate on that Om, you will understand who that Purusha is. So it is similar to that. That samyama is going to be on that as we look at ourselves, we are going to understand the meaning of and we are going to obtain the knowledge of Purusha and probably also know the meaning of and get a very good understanding of Om. This is what we saw last week. Any question? Okay. That's to say. Okay. So, Tatah, Sutra 37 is she here? Is Purna here?
No.
Is
No, sir. No.
Okay. Let's go on. Tatah Pratibha, Tatah Pratibha, Shravana, Vedana, Darsha, Swad, Varta Jayante. Tatah Pratibha, Shravana, Vedana, Darsha, Swad, Varta, Jayante. So let us see what all these things mean. Jayante is that being something arising, so something being born. Tataha, we know that Tataha means thus. From this, meaning from the earlier state, from the samyama that one is doing on Purusha and this great understanding is coming about the unmanifest divine. What do we get? So from this arises Pratibha, Shravana, Vedana, Darsha, Swad, Varta. All these things come. Pratibha is enlightenment. Pratibha. Earlier sutra also was there. Pratibhava, we said. That light. Pratibha is that enlightenment, that knowledge. Not knowledge of this world, but beyond. So that enlightenment, that Atma Vidya is coming. Shravana. So enlightened hearing is happening. Vedana. Vedana is sensation. Vedana does not mean only pain and suffering. Vedana also means sensations. Here, in this context, it means the sensations. And darsha, that enlightened seeing, where one is able to visualize in that enlightened seeing, enlightened taste, swad, enlightened the taste. I mean, basically, it's talking about all the indriyas, how they become um, uh, highly sensitive, and with all the slowly all the filters also dropping. Varta is smell, health, or feeling of happiness. That's how he's defining all that. So from this arises enlightened hearing, sensation, seeing, tasting, and smell, or health or feeling of happiness, depending on how Varta is interpreted. Various authors have interpreted Varta in different ways. That's why he is giving all these different meanings. It could be smell, could be health or feeling of happiness, all that. So this is what Sutra 37 is all about. Shall we move on to the next one?
So does it mean this with the higher Atma Vidya, we get all this enlightened
Yeah. Not only
seeing?
higher Atma Vidya, also you're entering into the state of Samadhi, right? Because of the Samyama. They all go hand in hand.
Mm.
So, Sutra 38. Te Samadhi Upasarga Vyutane Siddhayah. Te Samadhi Upasarga Vyutane Siddhayah. Te, we know, te means these or those. You say te vadanti means those people are talking. That's what it means. Samadhi, the state of samadhi. Upasarga means inherent outcome of natural changes, natural phenomenon, foreboding of evil, trouble, misfortune, obstacles, or disease. Vyutane is arising. Siddhayah, siddhis are accomplishments. So, what he says is by this state, by this state of samadhi, and having all this enlightened hearing and all that, what do you get? Upasarga, inherent outcome of natural. So you begin to understand all this. What are the phenomenon of foreboding of any evil that might befall, that comes as an intuition? Any kind of evil, trouble, misfortune, obstacles, or disease, all these things come as realizations and revelations. So these kinds of things arise from that state of samadhi. So, so he's also saying here, Vyasa says that is reaction of the chitta. The way you must look at also is, it is as if a rebirth has happened to a person. Meaning, because these are all new abilities that has come, which one did not have earlier. It is as if one has taken in a new birth, you will have new experiences, right? So it is almost, that's why the other way to look at it is as if a new birth has happened to us, in which we are having all these different abilities. So in our context, we must look at it as with birth we had certain gifts. Now with this now we additionally have all these things, like a new birth has taken place, but the old ones have not gone. We have still have those abilities, and added to that we have all these new abilities, which we understand that we will use it in a very discreet and dharmic way. We will not, stop somebody on the road, and even if we know this person is going to pass away tomorrow, we will not just tell them, hey, you're going to die tomorrow. Okay, unless somebody asks specifically, one should not give all these things, give out all these things, or some evil is going to befall you. Those things you should never tell others and disturb them unless they specifically come to you and ask. So this also means that one has reached a very high state while still being in the body. Okay.
Okay, sir.
But when these kinds of siddhis come and you react to this, then new karmas will come. You become extremely delighted with this, and you start going overboard, and you react. I mean, that is the reaction, right? And you go and tell, oh, I have this ability, come to me, I will do this for you, and all those things. You are going to acquire karma, either in a good way or bad way, whatever you do. When we react and when we think that we are something special, karmas will start building up. So one has to be extremely careful. That is what one has to understand. Okay. All right. Move on to the next sutra. Bandhakarana Shaitalyat Prachara Samvedanat Cha Chittasya Parasharira Avesha. Bandhakarana Shaitalyat Prachara Samvedanat Cha Chittasya Parasharirasya Avesha. Let us look at the meaning. Avesha. If you take the word Avesha, in Tamil also we say Avesham. I'm sure this word is there in Telugu also. This is generally used in a conventional way. We say some spirit has entered someone's body. You go to the temple and there is some big ceremony going on, and somebody will get this spirit into them, and then they will start dancing, and everybody will go and stand next to them to take their blessings, or they will ask, oh, this problem I have, do you have, please tell me the solution for this, please tell me the parihara for all these things, for this, or this village is suffering from drought or floods, please tell us what we need to do, what mistake we did. All this we see in movies also, right? So that aveshaha means something which has entered, that's all it means, or something into which one can enter. So let us go back to the beginning. Bandha karana. Bandha means bondage, being locked in or being limited. Karana is cause. Shaitalya. Shaitalya means weak, becoming weak. So Bandha Karana Shaitalya, because of the cause of bondage or limitation becoming weak, or limitation becoming weak. So because of the bondage becoming weak, prachara we know, right? Transfer or broadcast, prachara. Hindi Prachar Sabha we say, where they propagate Hindi, where they speak about Hindi, where they teach about Hindi. Sanskrit Prachara Sabha. Even news conference they call as Prachara something. So anything that is propagated is Prachar. Samvedanat, through sensations, by sensations. Cha we know the and. So Prachara Samvedanat cha means, and by ability for broadcasting or transferring sensations. Chittasya. Whenever you see this asya means of the chitta. That is chittas, the possessive thing. Chittas, kumars, something like that. Possessive noun, chittasya, of the chitta, belonging to the chitta. Parasharira, another's body. Para is always another, right? Outside. So another's body, Avesha has entered. So what he's saying is, because of the cause of being locked in the body, and the body becoming weak, and by the ability for transferring sensations of the chitta, another body is entered. What he's basically saying is, when one has these kinds of, this is one of the siddhis that he's talking about, where one can enter another body. So this is why I sent that video for all of you to watch about how Adi Shankara. Did you watch that video that I sent?
Yes. So,
No, sir.
Okay.
I will watch it today.
Yeah, please watch that video.
Sure, sir.
Basically, what happens is Adi Shankara is engaged in a debate with a person called Madana Mishra. So this is somewhere in North India, if I'm not wrong, somewhere Bhopal or someplace like that. So this man is a highly virtuous person. His wife is also equally highly educated and virtuous. But they are fully into what should I say, in karma yoga. Both of them are very high karma yogis. And they are very well known in that village in which they lived, and people respected them. And both of them were highly in the Vedic sense, were highly educated. So once Adi Shankara, during one of his Padayatras, he hears about them, and then he goes to meet them. And then when he meets them, they will receive him with very respectfully is received and all that. And then they ask him, what is it that that has brought him to their house? So he says, no. I mean, I came here and I'm very happy to meet you. You have a different philosophy, and I am bringing a new philosophy called Advaita. So I want to debate with you. So, though in those days, when there is a debate, there is also a waiver, a bet, if you will. So the bet in this case was that if Adi Shankara loses, then from that day onwards, he will become the disciple of this Madana Mishra. And if Madana Mishra wins, then he will give up all this ritual practices and all that he is doing, and become a disciple of Adi Shankara. This was the wager. not waiver, wager. I said waiver, wager. So, and then they also needed a moderator or a referee. And because they know that Mother Mishra's wife is also highly educated, they request her and she agrees. So all this is going on, and they both of them are garlanded, and that is how the debate starts. And how do we know when one person loses is when that garland withers away, becomes dry and withers away. That's when they know that the other person is lost. And then in the moderator, who is also there to say, yes, you have lost. Look at this. Adi Shankara agrees to have this lady, Mother Mishra's wife, as the judge or the moderator. That means you must understand how that lady would be completely unbiased, right? So Adi Shankara understands this, and the debate goes on, and then when it goes on for a few weeks, and then Mother Mishra loses the debate. Now the lady says, yes, he has lost, but I'm his wife, so I am 50%. So now you have to debate with me and win me also. Only then you have won the debate. Adi Shankara agrees and debates with her. And then as the debate is going on, the debate is almost uh, almost 1 month old. She asks a question that only a grihastha can answer. And Adi Shankara is a monk. He has never been a grihastha because I think he took sannyasa at the age of 7 or something like that, 7 or 8. So he could not answer that question. So he says, give me time. I think he asked for a few weeks of time. I will come back with the answer. She agrees. So Adi Shankara goes back to the forest with his few disciples with whom he came, and then tells his disciples, you know what? I know what needs to be done. I have this intuition. This is what I need to do. So I'm going to leave my body, and I will come back maybe if in a few days. So until then, preserve my body. Make sure no rats or animals or ants and things like that eat my body, because I have to re-enter this body. Saying that, he says, I'm going to leave this body, and he leaves the body and enters. And then what does he do? He knows through his siddhis that a king in the neighboring uh, kingdom, king had passed away. He understands that. So even before a big announcement or anything that is made in that palace about the king, they don't even know that the king is dead. What he does is he just enters the body of the king. Um, others are thinking that the king is very sick. So then he enters the body, and the king slowly wakes up as if nothing has happened. And then everybody thinks that the king has come back to life because they gave the right kind of medicine and things like that. They thank uh, the the doctor, the Vaidya. So the palace Vaidya and all that, and give him good reward that he has brought the king back to life. But the king, normally the kings have a harem and they have many queens. But one queen, very, very intelligent queen. So she observes the king and she finds something that is amiss, not right. There's something that is different with this king. So she asks Adi Shankara, are you really that king? There is something, all this is going on. And Adi Shankara, without revealing much, I think, he tries to get the answer for his question, the question that this lady asked. So then he gets the answer, and then he tells the queen, "This is why I entered the body. Now I'm going to leave the body. Don't feel sad. The king was already dead. I entered this body because I wanted an answer." And then he leaves. The king, obviously, the king is dead at that point of time. Adi Shankara comes back and re-enters his body, goes back, gives this answer to Madana Mishra's wife, Gayatri Devi, I think her name is. Madana Mishra's wife, Gayatri Devi. So he gives the answer and she is satisfied very much with the answer. And then the moment she is satisfied and her garland withers away. So Madana Mishra now declares that Adi Shankara has won over his wife also. So both of them become disciples of Adi Shankara. That's how it ends. But the important thing for us here is Adi Shankara entered another chitta, correct? Another body. So from one chitta, he was able to transfer his chitta to another body. So these kinds of siddhis can happen. So that is the video. See the video because that has a lot more information, and the storyteller will tell. He is a very good storyteller. So he says in a very, 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 very beautiful way. He has given, there are so many other videos also on various aspects. If you are interested, you can watch. That's a different thing. But watch this video. Any questions here before we move on?
No.
Okay. So let's move on to the next sutra. So, Sutra 40. So, Udana Jayat Jalapanka Kantaka Adishu Asanga Ukrantaihi Cha. Udana Jayat Jalapanka Kantaka Adishu Asanga Ukrantaihi Cha. So, let us see what he said. So, he says, Udhana. It's a little bit up. So, Udhana Jayat. So, Udhana is we have this, right? Prana, Apana, all this Vayus are there. There are five Vayus. Have you heard of this?
Yes.
We normally, when we do this offering,
Pranayama.
Pranaya Swaha, Apana Swaha, Vyanaya Swaha,
Samanaya.
Samanaya Swaha, Udhanaya Swaha. That's what he say. So there are five kinds of energies that are there in the body. So out of them one is Udhanaya, Udhanaya, Udhana energy. This energy is the energy that connects us to the unmanifest divine, to the other realm. So that's what he says. Udhana Jayat. When that is conquered, when this connectivity happens from Sahasrara Chakra, when this connectivity happens, when Udhana Jayat, when that successfully when we are able to connect, what happens? Because of conquering of that, Jala, water, Panka is swamp, Kantaka, thorns, Adi, etc., and such other obstacles. So, Jala, Panka, Kantaka, Adishu, in place of water, swamp, thorns, etc., Asanga, without contact, Ukrantaihi, one can move. So, even when there is a swamp, if you walk on the swamp, obviously you are going to get pulled in, correct? Like quicksand. You will be able to walk over it. It will not affect you. Meaning you can move up, you will move above that, a few inches above that or a few feet above that, whatever, doesn't matter. So these are all siddhis. You can walk on the thorns, meaning you don't literally walk, you just float above you walk, but you are not on the thorns. A few inches above the thorns, you are able to walk because you have that siddhi, you have that power because of this connectivity, udhana connectivity. This siddhi is able to is enabled. So we have seen this, especially with Jesus Christ. In the Bible, there is enough evidence that Jesus Christ walked on water because the divine called him. He walked on water. I don't remember exactly how it was. So he will be going in a boat with his disciples, and suddenly he will walk on the water. The disciples will be seeing that, and Jesus will walk some distance, and then some of the disciples will call him and say, "Hey, we also want to come." He say, "Okay, come on, walk." But they didn't have the faith like him on the divine, so they could not walk. So what it means is the faith in the divine, that absolute faith in the divine will come only with that connectivity, with that Udana Vayu fully active. And all this siddhis might also come. He had that siddhi of walking on water. And I do not know if there is anybody who had this ability to walk over thorns, because the concept is the same. Walking over water or walking over thorns, or walking over hot, maybe coal, or walking over what is this? The swamp. All that, the concept is the same. With me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this actually what it means is, by this connectivity, it makes one person weak or light, rather. It makes the body very light, and that's how they're able to walk over all these obstacles. They can walk over these obstacles. Okay, let's move on to the next sutra. So samana jayat prajwalanam. Samana jayat. So now he's talking about the samana vayu. Another energy that he's talking about. Samana vayu. By conquering samana energy, one shines as radiance, or as or can illuminate, or can start even a flame. That's what he says. So these are all, again, siddhis. So he says here, Udana energy lifts the shoulders and upper chest, according to Vyasa, Prana stimulates heart. Pranavayu, that is pranavayu. Samana is the energy coming out of the eyes. Apana stimulates flow of fluids from top of the head. These are the various fluids, bodily fluids that are controlled by, or blood flow, everything is controlled by apana vayu. And samana is the energy coming out of the eyes, meaning it controls all the various organs and things like that. Udana is the direction of the energy flow above the head, which we already saw, the connectivity above the head into the cosmos. Vyana spreads in all parts of the body. Vyana is that energy which is actually controlling all the muscular activity. So these are all the various things. So here he is speaking about samana vaya, samana energy. How the samana energy, because of that, there is a tremendous radiance on one's face. And the radiance is so high, one can just look at a combustible object and it can light up, that kind of radiance. Okay. Again, this is another siddhi. Sure, understand these siddhis come on its own. They all come on their own when we are in the process of going from dhyana to samadhi, perfecting that, or once one is able to be in the state of samadhi, and then this happen. Shrotra akashayoho sambandha sanyamat divyam shrotram. Shrotra akashayoho sambandha sanyamat divyam shrotram. So let us see. Shrotra means hearing. Akashayoho, space or sky. Sambandha, relationship between or connection with. Shrotra akashayoho sambandha. So Shrotra akashayoho sambandha samyamat. By samyama, on the relationship or connection between hearing and space, that's the meaning of the entire thing. Divyam, divine, full of light of the devas. Shrotram is hearing. Divyam Shrotram is divine hearing. So the summary is the samyam, by doing a samyama on the relationship between hearing and space, comes spiritual or divine hearing. That's what it means. So this also means that this heightened hearing that we earlier talked about is, I think a few sutras back we spoke about heightened hearing. So he is giving a little bit more here, that you have that ability where these sounds, even the sounds that normally we don't hear, you will be able to hear. See, I was in a retreat in '98, and suddenly we were sitting outside. It must have been evening, around 5:30 in the evening. I mean, the later part of summer in India. And suddenly the teacher, we were sitting there on a rock. We had climbed a rock and we're sitting on the rock, and each one was meditating on their own and things like. But we were all sitting together, just being quiet. That's all. After about 40 minutes or maybe there, suddenly the teacher said, "Hey, we all have to go. We have exactly 20 minutes to get back. The rain is coming." He said, "What?" He said the rain is coming. Now all of us, we have to rush because normally it takes about 35 minutes to get there. If we rush, we can make it in 20 minutes. So we all quickly got down and we started walking very, very fast. We got to the campus, and from the campus we have to walk about 5-7 minutes inside. And the rain came. We are all completely fully drenched. So how did he know? So either through smell or he heard the rain maybe 1 mile away. So those kind of heightened hearing will have. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move on to the next sutra. Kaya akashayoho sambandha samyamat lagu thula samapatihi cha akasha gamanam. Kaya akashayoho sambandha samyamat lagu thula samapatehe cha akasha gamanam. Let's see what it means. So kaya, kaya means body, right? Kaya akashayoho sambandha samyamat. By samyama, on the relationship, or sambandha we know relationship, on the relationship or connection between physical body, which is kaya. Akashayoho, we know that it is space. So by doing a samyama on the relationship between the body and space, what do we get? Lagu, light. Tool means cotton, or cotton fiber. Samapatehe, equivalent or one, becoming one with. Samapate, for samapate, this state we saw in chapter 1, where when one is fully absorbed, like how the crystal takes the color of something that is next to it, correct? How the crystal becomes that color. If you keep a red cloth, the crystal now will look on red. Remove the red, and if you put a blue cloth behind it, it will look blue, right? That kind of an absorption. That is what is samapati. Samapati. So samapathe, so becoming one with the lightness of cotton. Lagu thula samapathe, becoming one with the lightness of cotton. And also akasha cha, and also akasha gamanam. Akasha we know, space. Moves in the skies, moves through space. So what does it mean? By samyama on the relationship between body and spaces and space, and becoming one with the lightness of cotton, one has the ability to travel through space. So what it basically saying is, with this is a siddhi where one becomes very, very light. It's so light that one is able to fly like cotton from one place to the other. So we already saw a couple of sutras earlier how that udhana vayu makes one light and you can walk on top of thorns and things like that, right? So that connectivity is needed. With that kind of a connectivity, this siddhi might come if it is needed, where you can fly from one place to the other like cotton. The body becomes as light as cotton and one flies. So let's see the next sutra. Bahihi akalpita vritti Maha Videha Tataha Prakasha Avarna Kshayaha. Bahihi Akalpita Vrittihi Mahavideha Videha Tataha Prakasha Avarna Kshayaha. So Bahihi means outside, external, right? We are studying all this as part of Antaranga Yoga, right? Earlier we saw Bahiranga Yoga, Bahihi, external. Now we saw the Antaranga Yoga, the Dharana Dhyana Samadhi, and then we said the three together is called Samyama, and when you're able to do the Samyama and stay in the state of Samadhi, these siddhis might come. So that is how we are here. We're looking at all these various siddhis, Visesha, Anubhuti, as part of this chapter, Vibhuti Pada. Akalpita, unimaginable, unidentified. Vrittihi, expressions of thought, we know what Vrittihi is Maha, great or huge. Videha, that which is without body. We saw this Videha in Sutra 17 or 18, in chapter 1. How one can get associated with disembodied beings, correct? With spirits. We saw that. So Videha means Visesha Deha. Visesha Deha. Deha means body, Kaya. Visesha Deha means one that doesn't have a body. That's what it means. Videha. That which is without a body. Tataha, by that we know this. From that, Prakasha, shine or light or brightness. Avarna, covering. Avarna is something which is covered by something, then we call it avarna. Shayaha means that which is wearing away, waning. All that is shaya. So in summary, he says, unimaginable expansion outside the body into a great disembodied being. The veil or covering of our internal light wears away. So what he is saying here is, what is our inner light? That's what we have to see here. Covering of the inner light. So right now we are not able to see the inner light. So this, because there is an avarna, there is a covering on top of that. So by these various siddhis and samadhi, this covering goes away. Shaya wears away. In what happens when that wearing away happens? Our inner light is our spiritual being, correct? The inner light inside us is a spiritual. We are that spiritual being. That inner light is that spiritual being. So the covering, the avarna, the covering. Okay. Okay, Shobhu, that's fine. You can literally leave the session so that when we shut off, it will be easier. So, so all these, when we say avarna, we are talking about the karma, kleshas and all that. So those are all programs, correct? Those are all programs. Those all become dormant. That's what he's saying. The covering in all the covering is all the programs we have come with. So Patanjali Muni has already mentioned that even before full purity is attained, siddhis will occur. So all this covering, all these karma kleshas have not fully gone yet. Some of them are still there, but even without that, even without all of them going away, he's saying the siddhis can still happen to us. That is, even before all the programs are gone, special abilities, siddhis happen. what is the nature of the outside unimaginable activation? All the unwanted things will fall off and the inner light will emerge. That's what he's saying. Because we are only an instrument in the cosmic flow of things. So, so so he says Bahihi, Akalpita, Vritti, all three, all these things fall away. All these things fall away with all this, and this is a kind of a siddhi that happens to us, so that we can grow spiritually. That's what he is saying here. So on that note, I'm going to stop here in Sutra 44. We'll start Sutra 45, and there are only about 6 or 7 sutras. Most likely we will finish off next week, chapter 3. Any questions? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll see you next Sunday. Hopefully, all of you will be back next Sunday.
Definitely will be. I will be back, sir. And thank you
Because
for
it's
nice example of that your camp experience where you are
what
teaching.
if you have to mute one of those. I think your husband's laptop is also on. Speak now. Madhavi, speak. I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Thank you for sharing the beautiful experience of your camp trip in India. And sorry, I didn't watch that video, but definitely I'll watch. You explained it so good. It made me to watch today only. Definitely I'll watch it today, sir. Thank you.
What did I say about the camp? I mean, something I said now.
Yeah, just know about that. Your teacher told it is going to rain soon. How you
Yes.
got? Yeah.
Yes.
So
It is
that
that camp also. It's in the same retreat that I also had that out of body experience.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That time you went for the
Hmm?
That time you told earlier, like 45.
I can't hear you.
That time you took 45 days off from the work and went for the camp. Same
Correct.
camp?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. It was a 42-day retreat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank
You. Namaste. See you next week. Yeah, unless you leave, I won't be able to end the session, Subramanian. Can you leave the session? Unless all of us leave, the session will not stop recording. That's why you have to leave the session, Subramanian. Your session is still on. You want to say something?